In today's video, when you're trying to lose body fat, when you're doing something like I've done in the past, like going from here to going to here, how long is it acceptable to actually be in a caloric deficit? When is it a time to take a break? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and hey, the birds are back. When I started this video, there was no birds, and as soon as I start talking, I think they're talking to me, guys. So over the last couple days, we've discussed a few different topics, but today's topic is going to be about when you enter a fat loss phase. Your goal is typically to reach a certain weight, and what often happens is we'll say, well, I want to keep going, but how long is it acceptable for you to keep going? When does it reach a point where you're actually doing more harm than good? Today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. So guys, I want to read the question to you so give you a little bit of understanding on how we're going to explain this. I'm 5'8", I started at 210 pounds, probably 30% body fat or so. 5 months in and I'm at 175 pounds. Nice, dude. 18 to 20% body fat. Problem is my calories are now at 1,800 to 2,000. A lot of movement, 10,000 steps a day. Some between 13 and 15,000. My weight is pretty steady, close to 175. I'm getting to the point where it feels like I'm putting more into sub 15% than it takes for someone who's starting at 15% to get to 10 to 12. I know the feeling. Do you think it's time for a diet break or maintenance mode, or just getting extremely hungry now and getting a sticking point? And so, yeah, so this is where fat loss really takes an expert, right? This is the difference between some idiot on the internet saying, well, you want to lose weight? You just move more and eat less. Yeah, no crap. But what do you do when moving more and eating less stops working? What do you do when eating less leads to reduced performance, reduced sleep, stress, increased hunger? Perhaps you might even have some eating disorder behaviors where you start over consuming calories a couple days a week, making those lower calorie days just balance out the higher calorie days. Like, so what do you do in this? Because when you reach different places, your body changes. And one of the things I've learned in my more than a decade of coaching athletes who compete in bodybuilding shows, when you get to lower body fat levels, the body is different, okay? It'll actually start responding differently, meaning you can eat more, move less, and start dropping body fat. However, this takes a lot of attention. You must actually understand what your macronutrients are. You actually must understand how much sleep you're getting, what your stress you're under, okay? Because the body will start to really have some pretty dramatic differences just based on what's going on in your life. A lot of people don't think of stress as something that's going to impact their bodies, but it has a huge impact. So what I like to pay attention to with my clients is, okay, if we've reached a point where hunger is high, progress is slow, it might be a really good time to us to focus on doing what's called a diet break. Now, if you haven't been doing regular breaks during this process, I will start most athletes once they're moving with one high carb day per week. I also like to give them 1 to 2 days per week with no activity, no training, no cardio. Why? Well, because we push our bodies. That type of kind of behavior creates inflammation, all right? So your joints, your muscles, your digestive system, they're all gonna retain water when you have stress. Working out creates stress. Now, it's a good stress. Why? Because your body recovers from it and gets better. Just like other stresses in life, right? You've got the stress of trying to find food, of pay your bills. But those are good stresses. Why? Because they keep you alive. They keep you healthy and happy. So what I like to think of is we need to push and recover. Push and recover. And if you've been pushing for a long time, there's something that starts to happen. I call it chronic inflammation syndrome, where your body is so inflamed that even though you're reducing calories, even though you're increasing cardio, that inflammation prevents the body from breaking down more body fat and moving forward, okay? So this is where you'll see some pretty remarkable things by bringing food up, dropping cardio down. It allows the metabolism to increase because our hormones improve, okay? Our hormone profile improves because we're getting better sleep, our digestion improves, and those small minor changes are quite dynamic and allowing the body to then move forward, burn through some body fat. You'll actually have more energy. You might actually, even though you added calories and reduced cardio, move more. We burn more calories through NEAT or non-exercise activity than we do through exercise activity, okay? While you're sleeping, you're burning calories. While you're making a video for YouTube and you're using your hands and this kind of energy. These types of things throughout the day we don't realize how much we start to conserve energy when we restrict calories. I always tell the story, when I started dieting for my first bodybuilding show, I quit playing ping pong. Sounds stupid, but I would play ping pong for 30, 45 minutes a day with my friends, and we would really be getting after it. I would be breaking a sweat. You take away all that activity, guess what I had to do? Replace it with cardio to get the scale moving again, right? Looking back, I wish I would have just kept playing ping pong, because ping pong's a lot more fun than a cardio session, right? So overall, it's about the big window. Look at what your day is like. Now, if you've already come down this far, don't lose faith. I would suggest a 1 week diet break. If you're on 1,800 to 2,000 calories and you're on 13 to 15,000 steps, I would cut those steps right in half if possible. I would go down to 7,000 steps for a week. I would bring your calories up to 2,400, with the focus being on quality foods based around carbohydrates, right? I would probably not increase the fats too much. Fat can be stored as fat rather quickly. Carbohydrates cannot, okay? Carbohydrates have to be digested, and they get beneficial benefits to metabolism. Carbohydrates also benefit our muscle fullness, performance in the gym, and overall energy and metabolism, right? So carbohydrates are much more difficult to be converted to body fat. So I typically, when I'm doing a diet break or a refeed with my clients, I'll bring the carbohydrates up, keep the fats pretty stable, right? So I would do that for 1 week. Pay attention to how you look and feel. Focus on getting good sleep. If you're not taking something for stress, my favorite supplement in the world, I make all my competitors take it, is called Core Hard. It's by Core Nutritionals. I have a discount code, PaulR20. I'll put it on the screen here. If you go to Core Nutritionals, you get it. But that's a product that lowers cortisol, or the hormone that responds to stress. By lowering cortisol, your hunger decreases, your energy increases, even things like your free testosterone can increase, okay? I'm a 47-year-old lifetime natural bodybuilder, trying to get the most out of every little thing I do in a given day. All right, so that's my plan. That's my thought. When an athlete reaches out to me and says, Coach, I'm feeling a little fatigued, the weights are heavier, I'm dragging ass around the house, this is a big indicator for me, okay, it's good to take a week. And if you don't think of getting to your goal as a straight line, it becomes much more enjoyable, guys. I've been dieting since November. I've taken quite a few breaks. I've gone to Mexico. I'm not in a rush to get this body fat off, okay? And that's why I'm successful. A lot of people can do anything for a week, for a month, for 2 months. But to sustain fat loss properly and keep the fat off, you've got to be able to take breaks. You've got to be able to give yourself a little more food, do a little bit less cardio, give yourself some grace and some recovery, and then you can push yourself to look incredible. You can honestly do whatever you want, guys. There's nothing special about me. I've just surrounded myself by the smartest people in the world, studied this, done it myself, made a lot of mistakes, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, okay? Like the first time I dieted for a bodybuilding show, I never really took a diet break during that process, okay? That was not something that was in the kind of literature. That wasn't something that was involved in the sport. However, I was very lucky that my first coach understood the benefit of refeeds. I got a lot of high carb days in prep. All right, guys, talk to you tomorrow.